Now it goes live. Interesting. My name is Chris Wood. I live in Tyendinaga. I am 52 years old, and I am a 5-year revenge retaliation, full physical identity theft victim from the ones on the thumbnail. They are Ontario, Lennox, and Edmonton, Ontario provincial police bosses and co-accomplices, sex slave traffickers, drug traffickers, guilty of identity thefts, financial thefts and frauds, slave trafficking, tortures, and murders. Ontario provincial police that are guilty of sex slavery, kidnapping, false arrest, arrest refusals, stalking, kidnapping, sex assaults, and attempted murder through the ones on the thumbnail. O.p.p chief, year 2019, drove a white Jeep Wrangler. He is a sex slave trafficker and had me shot August of 2019 on the corner of Bridge and Center Street. Staff Sergeants, years 2019, 2021, kidnapping, sodomy, sex assault. Shannon Cork, Robert Lucas, Constable Ward, Dave Weiss. Stacy, a mental health worker, was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS, and Shelley Hafner. Hafner had me kidnapped May 27, 2021. Lennox and Edmonton County General Hospital, who are criminally negligent, involved in co-committing and covering up crimes for themselves, for O.p.p, and for their accomplices, bosses, the Hardy Boy Gang. Dr. Tatiana V., a.k.a. Margie V., name and file falsifier, medical blacklister. Girlfriend is Stacy, AMHS, Kingston now. The one that assures crimes for everyone and having their victims medically blacklisted to prevent them help. Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Waldron, Dr. McGregor, ex-CEO Cubby Duck, and patient relations Aaron Brown. Justice of the peace, threats, accusations, intimidations, false arrest before it was done to her. Their accomplices, Lennox and Edmonton, Napanee, Ontario, sex slave traffickers, drug traffickers, human traffickers, sex offenders, ex-inmates, stalkers, and those guilty of homicides and attempted homicides in Napanee and guilty of my identity theft with the intent to commit identity fraud and insurance fraud. How O.p.p are also framing innocent victims. And when people are disappearing, it is through brain injuring, it is through skull deforming, it is through full physical identity thefts, it is through body mutilations, it is through medical blacklisting, it is through lies, time buying, and cover-ups. The ones on the thumbnail, one, Bill Wooldridge, is an alias name. He has many: Bill Wooldridge, Bill Cooldridge, Bill Delarosable, James Bubbles, Stephen Mavis, which is a walk-away Harvard inmate escapee, is one of his alias names, and Robert Cross, approximately 70 years old, bald glasses. He is also guilty of stalking and causing my mother's death in 2020, killing her with intent. Blair Frederick Hardy, he is the leader of the Hardy Boys gang. He is guilty of meth trafficking, stalking, financial thefts and frauds, welfare disability, pension thefts and frauds, bank frauds, forgeries, meth trafficking, slave trafficking, stalking, murders, and attempted murders. Jason Gimpy Two-Step Vanelstein, he is a drug-fed crackhead. He is an inbred lowlife. He is guilty of identity theft with the intent to commit identity fraud, disability, and insurance fraud. He is a drug trafficker. He sells laced fentanyl between Napanee and Kingston, Ontario. When people are overdosing and dying from overdose drugs, it is through him. Bert the Hitman Hustler, alleged NHL hockey player for the Philadelphia Flyers and the Hartford Whalers. He is a sex slave trafficker. He is guilty of stalking, torture crimes, and attempted homicide. Robert Barry and his son Brandon Barry are guilty of torture crimes, attempted murder, and Robert Barry is a sex slave trafficker and a possible serial killer. Tyler Teabag Lake, he is guilty of torturing and killing my dog in 2023. He's guilty of torture. He's guilty of attempted murder. Raymond LeBlanc, he is guilty of criminal stalking. He is a child groomer. He is guilty of torturing and killing my dog with Tyler Teabag Lake in March of 2023, guilty of attempted homicide on me. Harry Hartwick, he is a child groomer. He is approximately 80 years old. He is a sex offender. He is guilty of sex crimes. He is guilty of torture, and he is guilty of attempted homicide with intent. His nephew, Dale Hartwick, who is guilty of attempted homicide, my identity theft, brain injuring me with intent to commit for drop charges for a stabbing he committed against his wife or ex-wife's boyfriend. And Dale's husband, Tony Anthony Axel Rose Hearns, who is guilty of sex assaults, attempted paralyzing me, being involved with my identity theft, which I could 100% prove that's been physically done to me, and he is guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit. All O.p.p. untouchables without $22,000. The lies, the time buying, the cover-ups, the arrest refusals, the extortions, the false arrests, the kidnapping, the sex assaults, the medical treatment refusals, the file falsifications, the discriminations, having me falsely arrested to prevent anything legal on any doctors or anyone else. That was done in an attempt to try to criminalize me because I had no criminal record or association with any cops prior. A lot of lies, a lot of time buying, and a lot of cover-ups. When people are disappearing, it is through Lennox and Edmonton, Ontario. It is through Lennox and Edmonton, Ontario provincial police. It is through criminal doctors who are criminally involved, and it is through their accomplices, ex-inmates and junkies who they cannot and will not touch because they work with and for them and committing very serious crimes, including murders for these cops. Public beware, they had my mother killed, they had 2 of my dogs killed, and I am the end of my bloodline, and I am going through and full physical identity theft. My brain's been completely split, my skull's been split, and my head's been deformed in about 50 different ways, shapes, and sizes. It's been elongated, it's been flattened, it's been rounded out. I go through this on a daily basis, and there is nothing I can do about this. All of them are sex slave traffickers. All of them are homosexuals and drug addicts, and they are getting paid very well from the O.p.p. for doing what they are doing. And by the way, for the one tuning in, how are you? Thanks for joining. I've been going through this for 5 years. because of me speaking of police crimes, of me speaking of O.p.p, human trafficking, and the sex slave trafficking, and as a result, I became a victim of theirs. I have and right now, as I'm even doing this, I have absolutely no feeling in my head. I get hypoxia on a daily basis, and regardless of whatever is done to me, there is fuck all I can do about it because I cannot get medical help. My legal rights, my medical rights, and my human rights have been taken from me. If I want medical help, I have to now go out of province, either down east or to Quebec or to Manitoba, because of my file being fucking falsified. A lot of lies, a lot of time buying, a lot of cover ups is what has taken place. $22,000 to have any one of these pieces of shit arrested. Okay, well, this is done.